again, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Browns Latest. I'm Dave Grendzynski, but you could call me Grizzer, and this is where we get you caught up on some of the latest news and the tidbits that are tied to our favorite team in the NFL. That is, of course, the Cleveland Browns. Thank you to everybody who has liked our previous episodes, who have subscribed to the channel, and to all of you who get your comments down there in the viewer comment section. Thank you so much again for 13,000 subscribers. I hope you enjoyed the fit change. The orange quarter zip is back, and enjoyed the day off. I think he took the family out for sled riding and snow tubing and things like that. But back with us, the orange quarter zip. We know how much you love it. And we'll change the fit again when we get to 14,000 subscribers, hopefully. But thank you so much. Hopefully you like the fit. And I appreciate all the nice comments that everyone put in. I promise on my list of things to do today, I am going to respond to all of you. I can't thank you enough for watching the show. And thank you for congratulating me and the show on the 13,000 subscribers. That is on my list of things to do today. I couldn't get to it. I had to call a basketball game yesterday. So after the show, I was off to a basketball game. It was an afternoon game, which I like that. But that's what I was doing yesterday. So I was out of the cold, but I was still, college basketball's fun. A lot of fun. Okay, now, coming up on today's show. Woo! Some things are happening. Yes, it's Sunday, but man, things are happening. Not only does the NFL now own 10% of ESPN, the Browns continue to save members of the Baltimore Ravens coaching staff by bringing them here to Cleveland. More good news coming in terms of the salary cap via the league. But how about this? A report this morning that Dillon Gabriel's days in Cleveland may be over. And I have to admit, I might be coming around on this Deshaun Watson idea. We'll get to that. Also, when they played a Pro Bowl on Tuesday, the Browns will be associated with a record that I don't think will ever be broken. And in the viewer comments, we will finish this sentence. We will not be a top 5 offense, but, all right, well, we'll have to find out what's going on there. But first things first, the Browns are getting a new associate head coach. Well, they're at least talking to it, and his name is Daniel Stern. And you probably just did what I did too. I'm like, the guy from Home Alone? That guy? The voice of Kevin from the Wonder Years? No, not that guy. Different Daniel Stern. It's this Daniel Stern. They're interviewing him for the associate head coach position. He's most recently the Ravens assistant quarterback coach and director of football strategy. And so now it all seems likely that he is following Todd Monken here to the City of Champions. And so we will say it's not official yet, but I mean, I think it's official. He comes in to do this. This is what he will offer Todd Monken on the staff. Game planning and situational football. He'll handle that. In-game decision-making support. He'll provide that. He used to advise John Harbaugh on clock management, game management, challenges, and NFL rules officiating. Okay. And he will assist with the quarterback's development. He was a big part of Lamar Jackson's progress that he made in the Todd Monken offense as well. Now, this should come as no surprise. Stern is a graduate of Yale and graduated magna cum laude. And so he's another Harvard guy, just like Andrew Berry, but he started with the Ravens in low-level roles like defensive quality control, and then started rising using analytics, strategy, and some other things. And so, if he comes over, that's going to make Warhop? I mean, we're up to like 3 or 4 Baltimore Ravens former assistants. So we're going to add Daniel Stern. And again, this is a strategic hire, not only to add analytic depth, but remember what we talked about yesterday, that winning pedigree, bringing people in here who understand what it takes. And the thing is, I think a lot of people think, and we talked about this the other day, Monken's going to turn 60, and I think that, he's stuck in the old school ways, but he is all in on analytics, Monken is. And he actually, there's a video of him out there that's floating around where, he talked about analytics being the tool to reinforce foundational football principles, like minimizing turnovers, maximizing explosiveness, dominating on third down. He said he'd rather use analytics than just chase stats. And so he also famously dismissed raw statistics as a loser mentality in 2019. And so, Monken is all in on the analytics and using them and whatever it takes to make this team better. I told you, like people people try to, everybody's using analytics. The league's using them. Every team's using them. It's just a matter of, are you applying them appropriately to your team? I don't think Kevin Stefanski did, because I would not have been taking Nick Chubb off the field because analytics said he should only carry the ball 15 times a game. It's just insane. I don't know the exact numbers, but it was something like that. It was just nuts. It's like, why you rested him for us not to be in the playoffs? It just didn't make any sense. But it sounds to me like all of these, everything that made Baltimore's offense is on its way to Cleveland, and I am happy. Look, my brother works in Baltimore. I've been to Baltimore a bunch of times, been to the Ravens Stadium, I've been to Browns games there. Very nice city. We've taken the kids to the aquarium, very nice aquarium and everything. But I don't care. We will take every one of your coaches. We want to dismantle your coaching staff as much as we possibly can and weaken you, Baltimore Ravens, as much as we possibly can. That is the goal here. So now, how about this? Coming out this morning, Bleacher Report. A guy by the name of Alex Ballantyne says, it's like a prediction pen assessment. He says, all signs indicate the Browns are going to split with Dylan Gabriel. Now, he says they'll cut him. He thinks that he's the odd man out, that it's going to be, obviously Shedeur, and then Deshaun Watson, since he's under contract through this year, will be the backup. I'm going to get to that in a minute because I'm starting to warm up to that idea a little bit, and I'll explain why in a minute. But he says they'll cut Gabriel after June 1st and save about $1 million on the cap. I mean, you wasted a third-round pick on this guy. I don't think you're just going to cut him. I think that you should call Kevy Kev, and even if you could get like a fifth rounder for him, you're not going to get your third rounder back for him. Get something for him. You're not just going to cut him. So I like where Alex Ballantyne is going on this, but yeah, it does appear like it's the beginning of the end of the Dylan Gabriel days in Cleveland. Boy, they're almost over as fast as they came. That didn't seem to take long. But here's the other thing. Cutting Gabriel, yes. But there's some other impending salary cap moves that are super positive for the Browns. And they do involve Watson. But first things first. I don't know if you know this, but the NFL is projecting the cap to grow to between 301 and 305, almost $306 million. Remember, last year, the cap was 279. So that's a significant boost, man, as much as $22 million. And this alone could flip the Browns from, over the cap to slightly under the cap. But then these are a couple of the things that are expected here in the offseason. Barry loves converting these base salaries into signing bonuses. And, he's done it before with Watson. He's reworked Watson's contract a couple of times. And, and he could free up, if he restructures Watson and Ward, he could free up another $49 million as much. And then you also have the insurance. Remember we talked about the injury insurance credits that they'll get for Watson not playing. That goes back to the cap space as well. And so, in short, the Browns could readily create substantial cap flexibility here. They are going to. I mean, it's going to happen. There's no doubt it's going to happen. And I've been thinking about the whole Watson thing. And I know a lot of people say he's going to be the starter. He's not going to be the starter. There's no way. But I am warming up to the idea of him potentially being the backup. Now, I'm hearing mixed things about the Achilles. I mean, trying to come back, he's never going to be the same. Now, the big part of his game was running, and that is going to be extremely limited now. And so I'm warming up to the idea of just riding out this last year as the backup, because especially if him and Shedeur have a rapport, I don't know. And maybe with Monk in there, maybe he can make him a little bit better. But and then you don't have to go out and spend money on a backup quarterback. You're not drafting. You're not wasting a draft pick on a backup quarterback. Like, it's all the same things that apply to. Thank God we have Shador. Where you could just roll with it. And I keep saying, Shador's durable, man. And so whoever is the backup, he's not going to play much. And so if you're going to have to pay Watson, because part of the problem is we've restructured his contract so much, like there's like no way out of this, man. Like, even if you made him a post June 1st cut, like I have been hearing, it doesn't help you in any way. And so you would still be paying that money and for nothing really. So I'm warming up to the idea of keeping him around as a backup, although, I mean, Shador's at the facility and he's out, I don't know, in Hawaii or something. There's videos, and that's the thing. I mean, how committed to this is he? So I think that's what's going to have to play out over the next few months for the Browns to really kind of assess the situation and see where they're at, and then when they get him back to the facility to see how he's moving and all. But I'm warming up to the idea only because it saves us. It's just, at least we're not wasting money. And so, okay, all right, that's where I'm at now. I'm warming up to the idea of Watson being the backup only because he'll never play. That's why. That is the reason I'm warming up to the idea. It won't cost us anything that it won't already cost us. I'm like I said, am I happy about it? No, because I've seen so many worm burners and air balls since he's been here. It's a complete waste. Worst trade in NFL history. So there's that part of me. The Browns fan in me just wants it to be over. But if he's around for one more year as the backup and never plays, I'm okay with that. Okay, now, speaking of Shador Sanders, he is going to be reunited with his old teammate at the Pro Bowl on Tuesday, Joe Flacco. And nobody's happy about that either. Joe Flacco making the Pro Bowl, Shador Sanders making the Pro Bowl. Everybody is now where I was the other day when I said, listen, just get rid of this flag football nonsense and have a ceremony, call it a day. Get it sponsored, call it a day. Because I think the Pro Bowl is now on its last legs because with Joe. But because Joe, Super Joe, Old Man Joe, Grandpa Joe, was named to the Pro Bowl as an alternate, the Browns have become the first team in NFL history to have two quarterbacks from their opening day roster named to the Pro Bowl in the same season. So two quarterbacks on the same opening day roster, both named to the Pro Bowl in the same season. First time in NFL history that has happened. There we go. Hey, a win's a win, right? I'll take it. I'll take any kind of positive for the Browns that we can get. But it got me thinking. I go, what are some other fun records that are associated with the Browns? And there were others, but here's what I picked these as kind of like the top ones. But so remember 2021, and I picked this because we're poaching every single Ravens coach, and we will soon be poaching Ravens players to come to Cleveland thanks to Todd Monken. But in 2021, they played back-to-back games against Baltimore. As the first time an NFL team had done that in 30 years. And it was the first for the Browns since 1957. So the back-to-back games against Baltimore in 2021. Also, remember, we hosted the first ever Monday Night Football game. And it was on September 21st, 1970. And we beat Joe Namath and the New York Jets 31-21 at the old Cleveland Municipal Stadium in front of 85,703 fans. I used to work at the old stadium. I worked behind the fence parties for the Indians games and worked in the concession stand. If they needed us in a stand, we'd go to the stand. But we never wanted to go to the stand. We just wanted to watch the game. So we'd work the pregame and then just not want to go to a stand. But I used to work at the old stadium and worked a couple Browns games, stood in the end zone. It was fun. And then number 3, Jim Brown. Now, Jim Brown, man, he is the only player in NFL history to average more than 100 rushing yards per game for his entire career. He averaged 104 yards per game over 118 games. That is something that I don't think you'll ever see again. Somebody averaging over 100 yards per game for their career, that's insane. Like no one has even done it, even with the 17-game with the modernized 17-game season now. That's never going to happen. He's the only non-quarterback to ever win the NFL MVP 3 times. And Jim Brown's single-season rushing record of 1,863 yards in 1963 remains the Browns' franchise record. Can you believe that? 1963, he ran for 1,863. And, we've seen 2,000-yard rushers, but the Browns, could Judkins or, Sampson? I don't think so. Because the way the NFL has gone now, you just don't have, Derrick Henry type back. If the Browns ever drafted somebody like that, now that you have Todd Monken, if you're going to give you're not going to give Judkins that kind of work, though, man. You just don't see it because these running backs get hurt so much. That's just something you're never, ever going to see. I don't know if that Browns record will be broken. It'll take an anomaly. So I don't know, but I thought those were fun records. I think that the Flacco and Shedeur thing is a fun record too. So the Pro Bowl is the game is on Tuesday at the Moscone Center in San Francisco. So if you want to watch it, it's Tuesday night. If you want to watch Shedeur and Joe Flacco balling out for the AFC in the what I will call the Pro Bowl. It might be, hey, better watch. It might be the last one ever. So, but all right. Well, anyway, now this will never be the last viewer comment segment we have because it is so much fun to do the viewer comments. And today we'll start with GG Free 5783, who says, Grizzer, are these guys choosing Monken over Harbaugh? And did Minter want to keep any of them? Well, I'll say this. It sure appears like they are choosing Monken over Harbaugh. I will say, it's a lot harder to live in, if you work, and especially if you lived in Baltimore and worked in Baltimore for, a longer period of time. That is a city that is more closely associated with Cleveland because, you have suburbs and places you can live. You can buy a house. In New York, if you have a family, you got to go move to New York and live here. What are you going to do? If you're not making millions, it's so expensive to live there. I always look at it like this for these coaches and things like that when they move around because, look at it from a family man perspective, And so it's a lot easier to move from Baltimore to Cleveland. Everybody just looks for houses in Strongsville, although Westlake is a very popular suburb. Even Avon is another popular suburb. A lot of Browns live in Avon. Browns players and this and that, because the facilities in Berea, the new stadium, everything's on the west side of Cleveland. So you can find a lot of suburbs on the west side or just south of Cleveland that are close enough to Berea where the facility is. And so, but yeah, I think when you look at it, if you're a Baltimore guy, you're like, I don't want to go live in the concrete jungle. I'd rather go to Cleveland. It's the city of champions. It's beautiful. Rock Hall. There's so much to love. Tower City, the Guardians, the Cavs. Man, oh man, there's so many things. All the parks. You got a lake. I'm going to get a lake because they're used to water. Baltimore's got the harbor. Very nice harbor. That's what I think it is, man. I think it's a lot of it, And I'm telling you, the league's starting to notice now, man. People around the league are noticing that people want to come to Cleveland, man. I'm telling you, especially with Shedeur now, all these guys, these wide receivers, they want to ball out. And personally, remember, these players, they would like to get the extra eyes on them. They know the extra eyes Shedeur brings. And so they'll come. They will come. Trust me. If you build it, they will come. That's a great movie, by the way, Field of Dreams. Okay, moving on. Matt Lovejoy. We won't be a top 5 offense. This is what we teased at the top. Remember, I asked the prediction pen if we'll be a top 5 offense this year with Todd Monken, and the prediction pen said no. So I took that as we're going to be a top 3 offense. Thank you, prediction pen. But Matt Lovejoy says we won't be a top 5 offense, but we don't need to be. Just an average offense will take this team a long way with that defense. And that's exactly right. And that's really all we were looking for out of the offense last year from Stefanski. But Stefanski couldn't even get the offense to average. So bad. And that's it. Just an average, a little bit of offense would have taken this team a long way. It would have made the difference in at least 4 or 5 wins. And so Matt Lovejoy couldn't agree more. Censor EDFTS. I'm not really sure what that is. But Censor Ed FTS, we'll call it. Todd Monken was an unexpected hire, but it appears he is the right man for the job. The Browns needed offensive production, and to keep the defense intact, Miles and Schwartz need to play their positions playoffs in 2026. Yeah. Apparently, there's new information on that. The Browns kept Myles Garrett in the loop on the coaching search. They did let him know that Todd Monken. This makes this meme thing even. It makes it even a worse look for Myles Garrett. Now that we know that the Browns told them that they were going to go with Monken, had him in the loop the whole time and everything, and then for him to go and do that, I'm not backing down, man. That is not the sign of a leader. That is not something the face of your franchise needs to be doing. Just keep it behind closed doors. They're doing you the courtesy of keeping you in the loop, and but like we just didn't need that. And so I think cooler heads will prevail on this. I do. That's where I'm leaning. I think they'll work it all out, and by the time they have the press conference for Monken this week, I'm hoping it'll all be worked out. Kamisha Edwards. Kamisha, great name. Kamisha Edwards, 2922, says, Myles is allowed to express his frustration on his page. Kamisha, I don't know, man. When you're the leader of the team, like you cause dissension, and uncertainty when you do those kind of things, man. You just can't. You can't do it. He signed up for it. That's the thing. Like, we're going to have to agree to disagree. I wish you would have taken the high road on this one, Kamisha. Do the right thing, -S4U. Maybe Myles can talk Schwartz into saying and everything will be all right. Yeah, I think there will be some conversations. I think not just Myles and Schwartz, but I think Andrew Berry and Monken and everybody needs to sit down and figure this thing out. And find out whether or not we're moving on or if we have to try and trade Schwartz. I don't know. We don't want that to happen. We want everybody to be happy. Because the guys love Schwartz. And so, like I said, I am, me, glass half full guy. I think cooler heads will prevail. So we'll see. And we will end today with one Sputnik who said, Yo, Grizz, that hat is cold-blooded. You have to make it permanent or at least hang it in the background. Well, one Sputnik, I took your advice. I do have the hat right here. And wearing it every day, I don't know. See, look, the back of it, the back has NFL on it. So I could go NFL, but why would you go NFL when you could go Cleveland Browns? And I don't even remember where I got this hat, but I do like this hat. And we could make it a permanent fixture. It goes well with the orange quarter zip. We had the scarf, too, that matches, but needed it lately. We also got the ball. Remember, I used to always love bringing out the ball, but then the ball broke. It used to make noises when I'd hit it, but it doesn't work anymore. But Sputnik, I will keep the hat. Here, hanging here on the chair along with the baseball. I got the Browns baseball hat too. That's always hanging here. Got this from my mom, so that's why I love to have that hanging there too. But yeah, Sputnik, if you like the hat, I don't know. Maybe we'll bring Happy Hat Days or something. When who knows? I'll come up with something. But I appreciate it, and I do appreciate everybody who got into the comments and wished the show well on the 13,000 subscribers. I really, really appreciate it and all the kind words. And it's so fun doing this every day with you guys. It's a lot of fun. And so on my list of things to do today, since it is still brutally cold in Cleveland, I am going to respond to all of you. If I haven't gotten to it already, I will get to it at some point throughout the day. And then I will check later to see if anybody else jumped in and threw it in. But I can't thank you enough for the support you have shown our little show. All right, that's going to do it. Wow, man. See, a lot of things happen on Sunday. It's Sunday, but geesh, there's a lot going on in Brownstown. All right, that's going to do it. We'll be back tomorrow with more. The Monken press conference coming up this week. The Pro Bowl is on Tuesday night. Lots of things. There's always something to talk about with our Cleveland Browns. All right, go Browns. We will see you next time.